Greetings, everybody. A lot has been said about the National Cathedral, and some of us have made our points clear. Some of us are not for the cathedral for obvious reasons. You see, we live in a country that is saddled with too many problems, too many basic challenges. And if I say basic, I am referring to issues of commonplace. Too many commonplace issues that have not been resolved over decades. Alright, so at every point in time, our focus and our expectations are on things we can do to alleviate people from poverty, things we can do to liberate the suffering masses from the everyday challenges, everyday economic hardship. Alright, we are thinking about infrastructure, we are thinking about economic issues every now and then. By the grace of God, we are blessed with so many resources. Alright, and so we only expect that these resources will inure to the benefit of every human being born as a Ghanaian. And so we are passionate about politics and elections because we always want to put somebody in charge to make prudent use of our resources. Alright, now about the cathedral, we are told that it was a personal promise, by the president to God. He promised to build God a cathedral, as a monument of thanksgiving, as a sacred entity to honor God, having granted him the grace to win the elections. That's beautiful. But that's more like a personal thing to God. And we were not there, when he made that promise to God. The cathedral can still be built. And as we were told from the beginning that state funds will not be used to construct the cathedral, even though we know that the cost of demolition alone on the site of the cathedral was going to affect the national coffers. But that on the side, every now and then we are concerned about how prudent we can put our resources to use. So we can actually be chopping off our problems bit by bit till we get to the point where we can feel safe. We can feel that yes, we have arrived. Right, so in all of these arguments, the Bible also makes it clear to us in the book of Acts chapter 7 verse 48. And reading from the New International Version, it says, "However, the Most High does not dwell in houses made by human hands." That's verse 48. And so that's supposed to tell us that God cannot be appeased by physical structures. God is interested in the human or the spiritual monument of man, the soul. Alright, so you can best please God by your deeds and not by erecting physical structures in his honor. Now, when we go forward to talk about the essence of the cathedral, as we've been told, that it will be used for tourist purposes, so more like to become a monument of tourist attraction, to say it's a commercial entity. The Bible in Matthew chapter 21 verse 12 tells us about how Jesus Christ entered the temple and flogged the people and drove them out of the temple and overturned the tables of the money changers and those selling doves. People were selling or trading in the church, and Jesus Christ, who is the epitome of Christianity, the embodiment of our faith, entered the temple, and when he got there, people were trading. He got upset and flogged them and drove them out. As the God himself, or Jesus as the one to follow, does not endorse or approve of the house of God being used for commercial purposes. So if you are building a cathedral for the purposes of a tourist monument, make it clear that you are building a tourist monument. But however, I don't see the correlation between the godly factor, the spiritual tangent of the cathedral, as in terms of the essence of the cathedral, and as a tourist monument. How do we draw the correlation? You see, biblically, we cannot strike a balance with this, because the house of God is meant to be a sacred entity. It's not supposed to say that the God dwells in that structure, but significantly, it's just to say that the Spirit of God resides, in the Spirit of God is present when the people of God meet, even though biblically it just means that wherever two or three are gathered, the presence of God, in His name, the presence of God will be availed. And so the cathedral is not a structure to house God, but however, significantly, if it's for the purposes of the religion of Christianity and as sacred as it should be in honor of God, then it should not serve as a commercial entity. Well, that's going to be a whole debate, and people will have their own views about it. I have seen Christians put up strong defense for the cathedral, but I ask myself, what really is it that God expects of us as a people? Is it by erecting physical structures, or is it by pleasing God with our deeds? Is it by showing love, compassion, and being responsible with our resources? There are so many kids who are homeless on the streets. Recently, an amount of 25 million cedis was advanced as seed fund for the cathedral. Now, this is a country that does not even have railway system in place. People struggle to board vehicles from home to work and from work to home. They get home so late, they wake up early in the morning, they join traffic for 2-3 hours. By the time they get to work, they are already exhausted. So are we not going to talk about railway system, transportation? Are we not going to focus on very pertinent issues, very crucial issues that affect us on a daily basis, other than defend the cathedral? I'm sure there are people amongst the NAPCO trainees who are also Christians and defending the cathedral. They've not been paid for several months, yet so much funds will be channeled into this cathedral, which has no direct benefits to the people. But do we need it now? The relevance is what we are questioning. So let's think about the future of our generation, the next generation, and how we can set a very good example for them. Else, we'll be just spending money on things that will become needless in the future, even though we may deem it so sacred and important to our faith. But is it really relevant? Is it really needed by the people of this country? And to talk of the fact that it's someone's personal promise and someone's personal wish, it should not affect our taxes. My taxes, squeezed from my sweat, should not be used to build a cathedral, which has no direct benefit, not even spiritual benefit to my soul. A cathedral that has no direct correlation to the well-being of the people. All right, let's go into our healthcare system. So many problems confronting people in our healthcare systems. Women giving birth to children on the floor. How are we addressing all of these issues? So it's about time that we question government on their spending, and let's also be fair to ourselves. We need to sometimes put religion aside and be realistic. How important is this cathedral to us? Let's think about it.